Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. We're so glad you're joining us today.
Great to be here.
Today, we're taking an in-depth look at Docusign's upcoming Q2 FY 2026 earnings.
Yeah, Docusign, a company that really became part of the furniture during the pandemic, didn't it?
Absolutely. And this report, it isn't just about their numbers. It's kind of a peek into how these work from anywhere stocks are doing now.
In the sort of normalizing market, as people call it.
Exactly. So our mission today is to understand if Docusign can, keep signing off on success or if there are new challenges slowing things down.
We'll look at analyst expectations, key things to watch.
And what it might tell us about the wider tech scene. Right. Now, before we jump into all that, if you find our discussions valuable, please do remember to subscribe, maybe like this discussion.
And leave a comment below. It genuinely helps us create more content like this.
It really does. And hey, if you're feeling generous, consider buying us a coffee. The link's usually somewhere below.
Oh, and if there's a specific company you want us to look into for a future analysis,
just drop it in the comments. We definitely read those and take suggestions.
Okay, so Docusign. What's fascinating, I think, is that this report lands amid these big shifts in tech overall.
Right. It's not in a vacuum.
Not at all. So their performance, it kind of gives us clues about how digital transformation companies are handling a very different economic climate than a couple of years back.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Docusign's Q2 FY 2026. When exactly is the report coming out?
It's scheduled for after the market closes on Thursday, September 4th, 2025.
Okay, after the bell on Thursday. Gives the market time to react overnight.
Exactly. That's usually when you see the big pre-market moves the next day.
And the main expectations. What are the analysts focusing on?
The big one, as usual, is earnings per share, EPS. The consensus, according to our sources, is sitting at $0.84 per share for this quarter.
84 cents. Okay, how does that compare?
Well, here's the interesting bit. If they hit that number, $0.84, it would actually be a decrease year over year.
A decrease?
Yeah, down 13.4% compared to the same quarter last year.
Wow, okay. That 13.4% projected decline, that feels pretty significant.
It is. It's a clear sign that even these companies that boomed during the pandemic are facing a major recalibration now.
Suggests maybe a bigger industry reset than some people thought?
Could be. So that leads to the next question, doesn't it? The whisper number.
Ah, yes, the whisper number. Is there any buzz about that? Something different from the official $0.84?
Our sources don't give an explicit whisper number for this quarter, but, typically it tends to sneak in a bit above the consensus.
Especially if a company often beats estimates.
Precisely. It reflects that kind of gut feeling among traders that maybe, just maybe, they'll outperform again. It can sometimes be closer to the real market sentiment.
Interesting. And what about DocuSign's own guidance? Did they signal anything coming into this quarter that might explain that projected drop?
Well, there's no direct current guidance for Q2 detailed in our sources. That's not unusual.
Right.
But that expected 13.4% year-over-year decline in EPS, it strongly suggests management probably guided pretty conservatively last time around.
Or at least hinted at slower growth.
Exactly. Signaled a deceleration. That usually sets a more cautious tone for analysts, kind of manages expectations downwards.
So management's likely being realistic about the current environment, not trying to overpromise.
Seems likely, yes. It creates this tension, though. A projected decline, but maybe a whisper number hinting higher.
Right. So given that caution, how has DocuSign actually done historically? Have they been beating these numbers?
They actually have a pretty interesting track record recently.
Oh, yeah?
In the last reported quarter, Q1 FY 2026, they reported $0.90 EPS. The consensus was $0.81.
So a solid beat.
A solid beat, yeah, 11.1%. And while we don't have the specifics for every single prior quarter right here, the sources indicate a pattern of recent beats.
Okay, so they have shown they can outperform expectations lately.
They have, which suggests some, operational strength, good execution.
But execution is one thing, market reaction is another. You mentioned those post-earnings moves earlier.
Oh, absolutely. Docusign is known for volatility after earnings.
Big swings.
Big swings. The stock has shown immediate, significant volatility, gapping up, gapping down. It happens right in that next trading session.
So investors should definitely brace for a potential reaction.
Definitely. It's not a stock that tends to just shrug off earnings. It's high stakes.
Okay, so let's connect the dots. They've got this recent history of beating estimates. Good execution.
Right.
But we also have this projected negative growth for the upcoming quarter.
Down 13.4% year over year.
And the stock tends to make big moves. What does this all tell us? It feels conflicting.
It is conflicting. The Q1 beat points to that underlying strength. Yes, they can deliver.
But
But that projected negative growth trend is the big shadow hanging over this report. It really raises the key question. Can they keep beating expectations, even when the outlook is clearly tougher?
and we need to look beyond just EPS.
Definitely.
Mm.
Keep an eye on other metrics, things like gross margin, how efficient are they, user growth, subscription renewal rates. Those often tell a fuller story about the company's health.
Got it. Okay, beyond the numbers and trends, what else is going on around Docusign this quarter? Any big news, mergers, product stuff?
Interestingly, no. It seems like it was a relatively quiet quarter for them on that front.
Really? No major events?
Our sources indicate no major corporate events, no big product launches, no splashy strategic moves, pretty much radio silence.
Huh. So the market's focus is going to be purely on the financials then?
Laser sharp focus on the numbers and, crucially, on what management says on the earnings call. Their commentary, their outlook, no external noise to distract from it.
Okay, so if there are no company-specific catalysts, we should zoom out, look at the sector.
Exactly.
What's the climate like for e-signature digital agreements right now? Is that pandemic boost over?
Oh, it's definitely shifted. This
Yeah.
is crucial context. The whole sector has faced what people are calling normalization post-pandemic.
Meaning slower growth.
Slower growth compared to those crazy highs of 2020 and 2021? Absolutely. But it's more than that. It forces companies like Docusign to shift strategy. It's less about just grabbing new users and more about proving value, expanding within existing customers, which is off a harder sell.
I see. And this is happening across the board in software.
Pretty much. Across software as a service, you see companies downsizing, focusing hard on efficiency, pushing for profitability, maybe more than just pure growth.
And the wider economy plays in too.
For sure. Macroeconomic uncertainty, interest rates, worries about enterprise tech budgets getting squeezed, that can definitely limit the upside for companies like DocuSign.
It sounds like a much tougher environment than a few years ago. The party's over, maybe.
That's not a bad analogy, actually. And this caution, it must be showing up in analyst ratings, right?
Well, while our sources don't detail specific upgrades or downgrades right now,
Yeah.
that downward trend in the EPS consensus, that negative 13.4%, that strongly implies analysts are cautious. They're adjusting their models for the slowdown.
Exactly. They see the normalization, the macro headwinds, and they build that into their estimates. The market reads that collective caution.
Okay, let's shift to the stock itself. How has DocuSign been trading leading up to this report? Any technical patterns emerging?
Specific real-time charts would tell the full story, of course, but historically,
Yeah.
DocuSign often sees consolidation before earnings. The price kind of trades sideways in a range, or sometimes a mild run-up if optimism builds.
So watch for breaks from those patterns.
Right. Anything unusual just before the report could signal some interesting pre-earnings positioning by traders.
And for our listeners interested in options, what's the options market telling us about expected swings?
Well, generally, heading into earnings, you see open interest pickup, both calls and puts. Traders are placing their bets on volatility.
And for DocuSign specifically?
What's really telling is the historical implied volatility from options straddles. It has often suggested potential moves of plus or minus 6% to 10% right after earnings.
6 to 10%. That's a big potential move.
It is. It shows the market is expecting a significant reaction one way or the other. It's basically pricing in a big chunk of uncertainty, like the market saying, buckle up.
Okay, buckle up indeed. So let's put it all together. Considering everything, the lower expectations, the history of beats, the sector headwinds, that implied volatility. What are the potential scenarios here? Let's start positive. What's the bullish case?
A really bullish outcome. It wouldn't just be beating the numbers like that $1.84 EPS.
Needs more.
Yeah, significantly beating on both revenue and EPS, and crucially pairing that with surprisingly strong forward guidance.
The guidance again?
Always key. We'd want to see clear signs that maybe enterprise adoption is picking back up. Maybe improved net retention rates, meaning existing customers are spending more.
Margin expansion too.
Margin expansion would be great. And any hint of new growth drivers, maybe successful AI features or big international wins that could really ignite a sharp move up, it would signal they're navigating this normalization well.
Okay, that's the sunny side. What about the bearish scenario? What signals trouble?
Well, obviously missing the headline numbers. Falling short of that $1.84 consensus.
But guidance is key here too.
Absolutely critical on the downside. Especially soft guidance for the next quarter, the full year. That would scream continued deceleration.
What else?
Evidence of margin pressure, costs rising or pricing power weakening, customer churn, clients leaving, big deals getting delayed, any of that could really spook investors.
And the broader sector issues.
If the whole SaaS sector stays under pressure, it just amplifies any negative news from Docusign, makes a miss potentially much more painful for the stock.
Okay, so many moving parts. When that report actually drops, what is the single most critical piece of information our listeners should focus on?
It really comes down to one thing more than anything else from the past quarter.
Which is?
Forward guidance. Full stop.
Specifically.
Specifically what they project for revenue growth and non-GAAP operating margin for Q3 and maybe the full year.
That's what the market will react most strongly to.
Almost certainly. Any sign of demand stabilizing, or even better, a positive turn. That's what everyone will be scrutinizing. It dictates the narrative about their future far more than the Q2 results themselves. It's the closest thing to a crystal ball.
Got it. Forward guidance is king. Okay, wrapping this all up then, what's our overall leaning on Docusign heading into Thursday's report?
Weighing everything we've discussed.
Yeah.
The prior beats versus the lower expectations, the sector headwinds.
Yeah.
The overall leaning is pretty much neutral.
Neutral. Okay. Confidence score out of 10.
Probably about a 5 out of 10. Right down the middle.
A perfect 5. Why so balanced?
Yeah.
What keeps it from leaning one way or the other?
Well, you've got that prior execution, right. The recent beats show they can operate well, manage expectations. That's a positive.
Wow.
But it's heavily offset by those lower guidance expectations, that negative year-over-year growth projection. That reflects the real challenges out there.
And the stock's volatility.
And the stock's history of big moves cuts both ways. There's just no really strong fundamental or technical catalyst right now pointing clearly in one direction. It feels like a true waiting game.
Waiting for that guidance.
Exactly. Waiting to see how they're actually handling these cross currents.
Okay, that makes sense for a neutral stance.
Yeah.
So for our listeners, how might they approach this depending on their own strategy?
Right. Depends on your risk appetite. For risk-averse investors,
Stay away.
maybe stay on the sidelines for the report itself. Let the dust settle. You can always look to get in after the volatility shakes out. Avoid the knee-jerk reaction.
Make sense? What about those willing to take on more risk?
For risk-tolerant investors, given that high implied volatility and the history of big moves,
Options plays.
option strategies like a straddle or a strangle could be considered. They profit from a big move regardless of direction.
But there are risks there too.
Huge risks. Be very mindful of the premium you pay for those options, and theta decay, that time value just melting away, especially right after earnings. The move needs to be big enough and quick enough to overcome those costs.
Okay. And finally, for someone who does have a view, bullish or bearish?
For investors with a directional bias, the absolute key is to listen intently to that management commentary and dig into the forward guidance.
Look for subtle clues.
Exactly. Watch for any unexpected trends in customer growth, retention rates, things that give you an early read on how Docusign is really navigating this post-pandemic world. Are they adapting successfully or struggling?
So it's a complex picture indeed. Docusign's Q2 report. Past strengths meeting future headwinds.
Yeah, execution has been there, but the expectations are tempered now by that sector normalization, the macro stuff.
And the real story, like you said, probably lies in that forward guidance.
Yeah.
How management frames the path ahead.
Absolutely. Which, thinking bigger picture, really makes you wonder, doesn't it? About what this whole SaaS normalization phase means for actual innovation. How do companies like Docusign adapt beyond their core e-signature? Where does the next wave of growth come from in a more mature market?
Finding new avenues. Maybe more AI integration. Expanding services.
Could be. It's definitely something to watch as this whole digital agreement space keeps evolving. How do they find that next catalyst?
A great thought to leave our listeners with. Okay, a big thank you for breaking all that down. Hopefully this gives everyone a clear view of what to watch with Docusign.
My pleasure. Lots to watch for.
Indeed. Until next time, everyone, stay curious and keep learning.